This is who you really are.
D to the Izzy, and today we are talking about a game that I never saw coming, but I'm glad I found it. Let's check out Warframe in 2019. So today I want to do a review, not so much a crazy in-depth review for the consumer, you watching the video. It's more or less a review on what I think of the game as I went through the game from the start to the end. Now, it's kind of funny how I actually found this game. I actually found this game playing World of Warcraft with a buddy of mine in my guild after a raid. One night we were talking about just different games that we were thinking about playing during the down season of between raids, and buddy was like, oh, I was playing Warframe, and I was playing it for a while, got really into it, but then I kind of got burnt out, so I stopped playing it. And I was like, I've seen a couple betas of this game, but I never really got into it. Let me check it out. So I downloaded the game, got into it, super excited, had 6 Mountain Dews and 2 cheeseburgers. I was ready to go. I was amped up, ready to go, right? I played it for like 15 minutes and I was like, this game ain't for me. When I first logged in, I wasn't impressed. Skills, wasn't impressed. Abilities, wasn't impressed. The Warframes looked really weird to me. The graphics was like, what's going on? I really wasn't feeling it. And I put it down. I threw it away, y'all. It was crumpled up in the trash. I was done with it. Came back to WoW. I was like, yo, that game was garbage. It was like, how much did you play? And I was like, 10 minutes. And it was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I shot something. I slashed something with a couple swords. I did something. And they was like, did you kill? I guess I killed something. I killed the dude. He was dead. He wasn't moving no more. So that obviously indicates that he was dead. That's what so I tried it out. It wasn't that great. And he was like, did you get to the tutorial? Did you get to your ship? I said, what ship? They said, you didn't play enough. You got to give it some chance, right? And then I kind of thought about reversing that to World of Warcraft. I'm like, if somebody only played 10 minutes of World of Warcraft, they would think like, oh, this game has nothing. I don't see what all the hype is about. You got to give the game a fair chance, all right? So I decided to do 600 hours of pure game. I mean, I was enthused and I was dedicated. 600 hours of dedication to Warframe. I'm just shy of 600. I think I'm like 598, but we'll call it cool 600. Cool 600. And I kind of want to just go through different things, different aspects of the game that I kind of went through. First off, I want to give shouts out where shouts is due. This is not the kind of game that you can just play and it's going to tell you what's up. It's going to hold your hand. It's not. It's a very difficult game. It's a very challenging game. There's lots to go through. I mean, this game has so much that in depth, and you're constantly trying to, right from the get-go, you're like, what the hell is going on? There's no explanation. You're kind of thrown into. So right when you get through the beginning and you're kind of going through and you get to your ship, and it's like it kind of tells you a little bit like come here when you follow the markers, but you don't really understand why or what you're doing just yet. And as you come to realize, I'm setting up my ship, kind of like building my base, getting things, figuring out what's what, and it was cool at first for the first quest or so, the first main quest, getting through that. And I'm just using weapons and kind of just enjoying the gameplay, and the more I kind of got into it, the more I started to realize that, hey, there might be something here. There might be something I can really appreciate. And as I kept going through it, I started getting confused on what I was doing. More so less like, the weapons, like how to use the weapons, which weapons should I use, which weapons shouldn't I use, how do I make more weapons, how do I get new weapons, what is this number above my little nameplate, what is mastery, what is that? I don't know what that is. I'm going through, read the codex, all these different things. It's like a library of things. It's like basically somebody being born today and somebody saying, hey, check it out. I know you know nothing about life, but go to the big library down there with a 300,000 books, and just get the reading, start at A, and aardvark your way through it, and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. That's basically how this game is. So I'm just gonna give shouts out to the 2 individuals that have that basically helped me get through most of the understanding as a newbie and what the hell I was doing. The first one is that I found, his name was IFlynn. I'm gonna link his channel in the description down below. He basically he created these great videos for new players, basically starting with you from scratch, going through, telling you which warframes are good, which weapons are good, what should you build, this and all that. He was very informational. Honestly, they should hire this dude, and it should have been part of the tutorial for the game, because it really did help me to understand what the hell was going on, especially when it came to a lot of things, including, like, with the warframes and modding and all that kind of stuff. So he's one. The second one kind of reminds me a lot of myself in the sense of his comedy. This dude named LifeOf Rio. I started watching his videos. We have a little bit difference of style. He's been established way more longer than me. I'm still new, but he definitely reminds me of my comedic tenor, with his slaps and things like that, things that he does, stuff like that. But he was super informational, and it's kind of from a different perspective of an individual. I don't know these guys individually, but you're just seeing as you watch it, one's more structured and kind of by the book, and the other one's kind of more talking to you as if you were his buddy sitting next to him, asking him a question like how to do this, and he's like, oh well, just bust it out like this, you don't need that, or whatever. So those two people, I will have descriptions of the link below. If you're just starting out playing the game, I would highly recommend that you check these dudes out. Now let's talk about the game. Warframe is a game unlike any other I've ever played. When I first got into it and I started really playing it, I noticed what got me into it was they had a Twitch bundle coming out with Trinity, and if you were a Twitch subscriber, you got Trinity Prime for free. And basically I didn't know what that was. I'm like, okay, free loot, cool, I'm cool with it, really get into it, right? I got into it. It took me about a month, y'all, to realize how to use this particular Warframe. So I really enjoyed the game. I was kind of going through, you start through at Earth and you go through all the missions and whatnot. And I didn't understand the missions. I'm just kind of going through, and I really got caught up in the action of the game. When I hit the plane of Eidolon, I think it was, I literally stayed there for days. I was going there, I was doing missions. I didn't understand anything about rep or what I didn't really care about all that. All I wanted to do was some missions. It wasn't making no weapons, wasn't doing no mastery, wasn't none of that. I mean, I was just having fun. And the first thing I noticed was I got caught up into the game so much that I didn't care about anything else but just the fact that I was having fun. And I realized that I haven't had that in a long time. I'm like, oh snap, I'm actually smiling while I'm playing this game. I'm like giggly like a little schoolgirl. Ooh, front flip, back flip. Ooh, I think I was playing MAG. I was out on the planes, and I was just having, it was just, I don't know what it was, but the game was just so polished and so fun. This is before the update that they have for the Plains of Eidolon. It didn't matter. I was new, so it was new to me. And I just enjoyed, doing the missions and just having that freedom of being able to use my primary, secondary, melee, having this action pack back and forth between using your primary gun and using your melee, and just having these different combos that you can use, and having each weapon, be different. Because when you go through it, there's so many different weapons that you can use. There's so many different primaries that you can use, so many different secondaries that you can use, so many different melee weapons that you can use, and all of them are different. All of them have different styles or different damage or different ways of playing them, which right? Is like when I first got into it, I was like, man, I don't even know how to keep up with this. And as I kind of got accustomed to the fact that you can make your own weapons, and I realized that the game was not pay to win, and that yeah, you could invest some money into it, but you didn't have to. You could literally just build everything. Everything just took more time to get through things. So I was like, okay. So as I'm going through and I'm starting to build more, going down the lesson and weapons, I started realizing, oh snap, I need mastery, which kind of dictated what weapons I could or could not use. So you started at a low mastery. Think of like, an initiate at a karate school, you white belt, you can't really do much, hi-ya, you could punch 1, 2, but you can't really block, you can't really look, you can't really do nothing, you can't even eat rice because that's not even your thing, right? And that's kind of how you are at the beginning. And as you kind of get to that little blue, yellow, whatever taekwondo belt, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, you get the analogy. You start being able to apparently, I guess, in the scope of Warframe, your mastery 2, mastery 3, mastery 4, as you get up in mastery, now you kind of have more knowledge of different weapons, and now you can use things that you couldn't use before, and these weapons are more stronger, supposedly. And then I was like, okay, cool, I got more weapons, I'm using weapons. But then as I got through, to the first couple of planets, I started dying more, and I was like, how do I do this? Like, this doesn't make any sense, and I realized that, now they've introduced this thing called modding, and basically you could apply different mods to your Warframe suits, and every Warframe did a different type of, just like the weapons, you know, when you play Warframe, you know, spoiler alert, you know, you're kind of controlling this I don't know what you want to call it. It's not a robot, but it's like a mechanized suit, you know, that has all these different kinds of powers. You know, there's different Warframes with different powers, right? And you can like add these mods to these suits to be stronger, to do different things. Same thing with the weapons. You can add mods, modifications to them make them more powerful, to then be able to do more content that you couldn't do before. So as you're going through and you're getting, you know, different Warframes that you like, something that suits more of your playstyle, and you're getting weapons that you like, suit more your playstyle, you start to notice right off the bat that there is no best weapon. You know, as far as I'm concerned, there are preferred weapons, sure, like any game. But the one thing I liked about it is that if you found a weapon that you really liked and you really want to stick with that weapon, you can stick with that weapon. You could do most of the game's content with that weapon if you have the right modifications with it, which was excellent for me, because I'm like, oh snap, that's great. That means I don't have to keep doing the World of Warcraft gear treadmill of, okay, I've gotten to a certain point now, I'm at the max level, now I gotta, you know, get a new weapon or new items to be able to do this next thing. And it's like, it's not like that at all. That was the first thing I liked about the game right off top. So I'm trying to go in chronological order here, how I went through the game. And so I'm going through the game, and I realize this, and you know, I get to the part where, you know, you now have to fly in space, and you're starting to, you know, put on your jetpack and your whatever you call it. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm not gonna know all the terminologies and terms. Even 600 hours in, I don't memorize everything. And you know, right now I'm just having fun. I'm just trying to get through the planets, and I'm trying to have my fun. And I'm going through the quest, and this game has an extreme amount of good writing, and I found myself I was very interested and well invested mentally and emotionally into these quests. Certain quests really had a good storyline. I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was meaningful. I felt like I was accomplishing something. I felt like I was really doing something, and you know, it really caught my eye, and I came to attention about the fact that, wow, when's the last time I played a game that had this much attention to detail? When's the last time I played a game that had me playing 12 hours in? I'm playing 12 hours, you know, in, and I'm still playing, and I'm not tired, and I'm just as excited to keep playing it as I was when I first started. These were the things. So the quests were beautifully written. They're well in depth, and there's so many different types of quests, and certain Warframes are kind of like they're kind of the story is embedded within the quest. So if you want a specific Warframe like Octavia, who is kind of like, I call a DJ Warframe, she's a Warframe that produces music to give buffs to her team, stuff like that. And if you get a Warframe like her, you have to go through the quest and do different puzzles and do different things to try to find all of her parts to make her. It's super interesting, right? And just an example, you know, and so some of the premier or more interesting Warframes have like these quest lines that you can do to obtain these special Warframes, right? So yeah, in terms of like the outside content for Tuna Plains of Eidolon, I really like the outside content as opposed to the indoor. The free roam content is a content that allows you to kind of go wherever you want. There's lots of quests and different things to explore, and caves, and you know, there's mining, herbing, and you know, for plants and stuff like that, and there's hunting for animals and stuff like that, and there's different intricate boss fights. You know, very fun to do. They're very challenging in terms of when you first start and you don't have yourself built up, or you don't have your weapons built up, or maybe you don't have the right Warframe necessarily needed to get them done. They can be very challenging, which I think that is great. And you know, I really do hope that they do more outside or open world free roam type content, because it was definitely something that I found to be kind of a highlight in a surprise factor. Oh my God, this is an open world scenario. In terms of getting like customization, the color schemes and things like that, and different epic looks that they can get for each Warframe, and how they reintroduce new looks for different Warframes, and how the Prime version of the Warframe, which is the better version of each Warframe, looks so much more intricate and interesting and epic, you know, on the scale compared to the regular Warframes. is really great. And you know, they also have that in terms of the weapons. So getting a weapon that you really like, if you were to get the prime version of that weapon, it would be a lot better. It'd be able to hold more mods, you know, right off the bat, and it would, you know, potentially do more damage, which is great because it's something to look forward to, something to work for. Once you've achieved, you know, your personal goals or something that you like, you can always strive to get something better. In terms of, like, you know, in game or getting the best loot or all that kind of stuff, you know, they have this system, this relic system, kind of like a lottery system, and at times it can be tedious. I have run into a couple roadblocks in trying to acquire certain relics in order to acquire certain pieces of gear. I don't necessarily find it annoying as I thought I would when I first initially learned about it. I feel like it does require you to do a lot more farming in the game, but if you're enjoying the game regardless, and then it doesn't really matter. A lot of times you can farm these things while you're doing other activities as well, allowing you to basically complete multiple things at once. Essentially, what it is you know, you acquire a relic, and you know, it's able to drop a certain high quality item. It's got like, kind of like a list, kind of like a bag of goodies, if you will. And you kind of dip your hand in this bag after you do a quest or whatever, and you have a chance to pull out something in the higher quality that it is, the lower percentage that it is, and you can enchant this bag. This is all a metaphor, but you can enchant this bag per se and kind of equal out the percentages for all the items, so that way something that's a little more rare quality can be easier attained, stuff like that. But that's a little more, you know, going to it's a little more going in depth. I'm just trying to basically say that, you know, I did enjoy the system. I do think that that it works out really well. I think some modification of the system could be adopted in some other games instead of the loot systems they have, you know, in terms of being able to acquire things in a much more consistent rate. So in terms of the market and whatnot, I think the market is fine. I don't think that just because, I mean, yeah, a person could drop a ton of money on this game and they can get a bunch of platinum and they can go buy a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't give them a huge boost over someone else in terms of a pay to win thinking factor, if you will. Like, yeah, they'll be able to get to things faster, they'll be able to buy things faster, but you know, when you reach that as a play to win, or as a free play player, you can reach and still do all the content as a free to play player without needing the money, and you could basically reach the same scale or scope of a paid player as you would a free to play player, which in most cases, in most games, when you think about it, usually there's some kind of wall that's in place that makes it so you can't do that. You know, there's always a wall that you eventually hit as a free to play player, and in this game, in terms of being able to do the content and do the game, that is not the case as long as you have the time. It's just a little more time investment, but that is something that I like. Overall, you know, there's so many, like I said, there's so many aspects of the game to go over. I really don't think it's necessary for me to go over every single little thing. The main point of the game is that I'm having fun. All the new things they bring in, the Nightwave stuff, the rep stuff, being able to acquire mods and all these kind of things. There are all these different multiple ways, all these different reputations. You know, every game like this has reputations. It doesn't bother me. I like it how they're pretty easy to obtain in terms of rep and what you're doing, and just overall the game is just very fun. I mean, you know, you could sit here all day and list all the factors, everything there is to know about this game, which it would take me probably over 30 minutes, and people with way better skills in terms of their research have done much better jobs doing a Warframe review video in terms of going over each individual thing for you to delve into down a piece. If that is something you're looking for, you know, definitely check those videos out. My whole purpose is D5 stamps this stamp of approval. Warframe is a beautiful, well-crafted, well-put together game, and if it's the type of game that you like, I would highly recommend that you try it. If you haven't, you'll love it. And in closing, I just want to say, you know, while, you know, when I initially decided that I wanted to talk about this video, I didn't want to talk about it in a structured way. I didn't want to have a list of stuff I wanted to go over. I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys like you were sitting across from me and you came to me and said, you know, D5, what's up? How is Warframe? I see you playing that game. What's going on with that? And I just wanted to just kind of give you my 2 cents of how would it be if you were sitting across from me, because I feel like that's the most genuine way to talk about something. And, you know, in retrospect, you know, as I started playing the game, I enjoyed the game so much. I appreciated the game so much. I thought the game was so well done that I wanted to actually contribute to the game. I actually did end up putting my real money into the game because I almost felt bad. Like I was like, this game is so dope that I think you guys deserve money. Like I'm gonna tip you. And platinum, sure, thank you, I appreciate that on the flip side. But you know, it's showing your appreciation to DE and really this Digital Extremes. It's the company that is in charge of the game. Really showing these developers and these artists and these Q&A people and all these people, the whole team, how much you appreciate the game. And it just goes to show that the hungry money mongers like EA and stuff like that, you can get money if you put out a quality product, because eventually people who love you will contribute. So if you guys, so I mean, in closing, you know, tell me what you think. Do you think Warframe is a great game? Do you think it's the kind of game that's going to continue to last? I mean, it's out there and it's coming out with new updates. People are still playing it. It's got a huge player base, a huge active player base that I've joined recently, and I'm happy to be part of the family. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to check out those content creators that help me. I hope they help you as much as they help me. All right, so in closing, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please support me as I'm still a new subscriber, still kind of learning my way around, learning the ropes, ups and downs, sideways, all that. So please like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll check you guys on the next one. This is D to the E. Peace out.